I'll be showing you my progression for multifidus retraining. I have my assistant here. Do I have your consent to post this video to my DIT program for corrective techniques?
Yes.
Function class? Okay, thank you. Okay, so the first exercise we're going to do is just to kind of introduce the patient to feeling what the multifidus should feel like when it's contracting. So I'm going to have you lay on your stomach for me. Yep. I'm going to go around over here. So your multifidus muscles on either side of your spine here. So we're going to be concentrating right here in the lumbar area for this first one, or your low back. So what I want you to do is bend your elbow up like this, and you're just going to lift your arm up off the ground. Okay? And I want you to concentrate, next time, I want you to hold a little longer, and I want you to concentrate on feeling some firing in this area. So some contraction of the muscle in this area. So go ahead and lift. There you go. Do you feel that engaged now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Go ahead and relax. And I'm going to have you lift again. Good. So we're looking for the multifidus to fire. You can just relax and then lift again. Make sure you're lifting your whole hand up off the ground. Perfect. So we're looking for the multifidus to fire. Relax. On the same side, one more time. And we're just getting the patient used to the feeling of the multifidus contraction. Okay, go ahead and relax. And depending on the injury or the assessment that you did earlier, you can concentrate just on the one side. But I usually go ahead and just train the multifidi together bilaterally. So I would instruct the patient to do this on the other side. One other variation that I also use with this is go ahead and put your arm straight out in front of you. You're going to make a thumbs up, and then you're going to lift and hold again. Go ahead and lift. So I find a little more success with this one. Do you feel that a little more? Yeah, he's definitely a little more rigid in this position. So go ahead and relax. And I'm going to have you do that one more time just so you're comfortable with that feeling. Good. Go ahead and relax. Alright, so this is phase 2 of the progression. I'm going to have you go ahead on hands and knees. And this time we're looking to get the patient into kind of a posterior tilt to activate the multifidi muscles again. So if you want to do that tilt we talked about. Good. So we're trying to relax the thoracic spine and really only contract down here with that pelvic tilt. So go ahead one more time. And I find it's really helpful to kind of help them, guide them to where they're supposed to be. Relax one more time. So I have them repeat this a couple times. Go ahead, repeat. Until they kind of get the hang of just the tilt. Go ahead. And getting that thoracic spine to relax. One more time for me. We want to make sure he's not rocking back, that his weight's not shifting forward, and that his arms are at 90 degrees, staying in position there. So this is kind of a two-step, I guess, progression. What we're going to do is I'm going to have you... Oh, let me fix the camera real quick. There we go. Make sure you can see that. So what I'm going to have you do is draw up your lumbar spine again, and you're going to hover your leg off the ground and hold for a few seconds. And relax. Go ahead and keep switching that. Hold for 5 seconds each.
Same leg?
Oh, the other leg. Sorry, we'll alternate. So every time, make sure that they correct that tilt and that they're firing the multifidi. Go ahead. Before they start to hover that leg up. Go ahead. Ideally, they should be maintaining this tilt the entire time.
Not me.
But this is day 1. Obviously, this would be progression as we go. Go ahead and switch one more time. We are looking for a slight rotation of the hip contralaterally. So make sure that they are having that engaged as each multifidi is fired individually. Okay, you can rest.
Thank God.
Alright, the next step to this progression, we're going to focus adding in some lower extremity movement. So we're going to start with that pelvic tilt draw. Good. And then you're going to lift your leg. Good. Good, relax. Okay, so ideally we wouldn't see this much rotation with the patient.
What are you trying to say?
But let's go ahead and try the other side. They can get a view of that. So you can see here he's rocking this way a little bit. Keep up that pelvic tilt. Good. That's a better position. Good. Come back down. So we want them maintaining that pelvic tilt throughout the motion. Let's do a couple more. Good. Come down. A little slower. Good. Good. And we would hold this for a couple seconds to really, if you feel that firing in there.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay, come back down. Again, making sure that the patient isn't transferring, which he was doing, forward or backwards. We really want to make sure that they're stabilized in this position before they would progress to the next step. All right, this is the next step to our progression here. We're going to incorporate both the upper and lower extremity. So really building off of the last step we just did. So I'm going to have Chris go ahead and get into your pelvic tilt. Slowly extend one of your legs. Good. And now the opposite arm, thumbs up. I know you can't see that in the picture, but thumbs up to simulate the very first step of the progression we did. Good. Come back down. And we'll try the other side. Surprisingly, you're actually better at this than the last one. But feel both of the sides of your back firing there?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Let's go ahead, come down. Let's have you do one more on this side. Nice and slow lift with this. Tilt. Good. So we got to make sure they're getting that tilt. Correct them here if they're having a body weight transfer, either forward or backwards, before they lift that arm up. Good. Go ahead, come down. Good. Alright, so this is the next stage in the progression. Since the multifidi, they help to rotate the spine, we're going to add a seated progression to this with rotation. So Chris, I'm going to have you pull on the band here. I'm going to give tension. Ideally, this would be anchored down at something at work. And then I'm just going to have you sit up nice and straight. You're going to rotate with the band, and you're going to try and fire those same lower muscles that we were working earlier. So I'll have you go 5 to one direction. Go ahead, rotate a little more. Really pull the band with you. There you go. So you can see he's rotating through one side, really concentrating on pulling through the lumbar aspect of the spine. Go ahead and switch sides. And we instruct the patient to engage the core, well, the abdominals in this case, while firing that multifidi as we move. Okay? Perfect.
That's good.
Alright, and we're on to the final step to the progression for multifidi training. This is going to combine all of the exercises we've used so far, obviously in a standing position this time, so a little more dynamic, a little more functional. Chris, I am going to have you start by, let me get all the way a little bit. I'm going to have you extend your right leg back. Good, point your toes. And he's going to extend the opposite arm, thumbs up, just like we did in the beginning. Careful, come down. And he's going to do, never putting his foot all the way down. Good. And then he's going to do slow lifts and hold. Come back down. Slow lift, come back down. Go ahead, continue there. Concentrating, as always, firing that multifidus. So hopefully by this stage in the progression, they have a good idea of what that feels like. And we're hopefully going to try and engage the transverse abdominis a little bit better there. That's it. Perfect. And relax.